Okay, I guess we're live. Um, yeah, we're doing a little bit of a test here. We kind of got we talked about the M6 review that I ended up doing, and I don't know, we're just doing this and to see how this works out. So, and I've got a limited amount of range because I'm using a webcam on this, and just to kind of see what we end up doing. So it'll go pretty much all the way around. 360, we did a test on this, but I wanted to see how this would work and kind of show you what's going on. So I'm using the Windows laptop, so we got that. I'm assuming I'm using the audio from this, and part of the printer is printing out some stuff. So yeah, of course the lighting is horrible and all that stuff, but we're doing the face tracking thing to see how that works and to see if this is going to be something that I want to incorporate. The next step that I'm going to end up doing is trying to incorporate the DJI wireless microphone. So we're going to do that. Now, I can, since we're doing the face tracking thing, it seems to track pretty good, so that's good. I'm using an eMint 4K webcam, which seems to be working out pretty good. Haven't done any adjustments for colors or filters or any of that stuff. Trying to make me slimmer. It's not happening. So I have to play around with that because I'm used to doing everything on my Mac. And the reason I got the Windows laptop is because a splitter program that I purchased is not on Mac yet. So I went ahead and bought the splitter, SPLIT, the number 3, and then R.com. I picked that up, so I've been working and playing around with that a little bit. And then I started doing this. So let me go ahead and stop this, and I'll show you kind of what we got going on here. So there's the, it's just going crazy. So you got the infinity pool, and then of course we got the cord for the web camera, which is pretty much, yeah, that's untethered to that there. And then we've got our printer. Let me see if we can back it there. And this is what I miss about my Mac, is that I have control over the audio and the video, and I can do a bunch of stuff with that. Windows, I haven't had Windows in a minute. So yeah, it is, it's a thing. It is a thing. So right now what we're ended up doing is we're printing a picture frame with the Ivor Viking dude. So what I ended up doing is taking a picture frame that I found, I think, on Printables or Coats 3D, whatever it was, and I imported that into the slicing program. And then from there, I took in the, what was it? The Ivor Viking dude that I had, split him in half and then cut part of him out and then joined those two things together. So you can kind of see what we got going on there. So he's going to end up, basically he's going to end up popping through the frame. So this is just kind of a trial run to test it out to see if it works, and we'll see how that goes. So yeah, I need to get on this and try to figure out microphone settings, and so we can end up doing stuff like that. So I'm going to see if I can put in my wireless microphone. That's going to be the next thing that I'm going to end up doing. So Yeah, we'll eventually get to that. Let me put you back up here. Oh, and then since we'll do a little tour, I also don't like it that it's so cropped in. I wish the camera was a little bit more wide angle. But there's we got a resin printer in there, our Saturn 3 Ultra. We got the wash and the cure station, a bunch of trash. Uh, we got some filaments. And again, what I ended up doing is using the matte PLA and printed out a side spool holder. So you can see how that thing works out. And that way it'll hold the 2.5 kilo spools of Polymaker matte PLA. So we got that. And then, do you want to see the mess? The mess is a mess. So there is the mess of the table. That is like the catch-all. And you can see those red pieces there. That's part of the crimson sword that I'm doing. So I did some sanding, did a little bit of painting, and I have my paint station in there. So I got a little paint booth in there. And then on the other side, I'm going to kind of use that plastic wrap that you see right there. And we're going to see if we can get a bigger paint. And so we'll get a box fan and some stuff like that. And let's see if we can do the face tracking. So yeah, we'll do some of that. And let's get back to page tracking to see how that works out. So when I start doing larger prints, I'm going to need something larger than the little tiny airbrush paint booth that I have. So if I'm doing some larger prints, especially I think the sword, which is kind of like that big, did some videos yesterday. A video on that showed the build on that, putting it together, make sure it all fits, then taking it apart and painting it. Yeah, it's good that it's in pieces because I can paint that in the small paint booth. But anything bigger than that, I'm really going to end up. I'm really going to end up having problems painting larger items. Let's see, we've got a question. Ned Bentive says no issues spraying indoors in a small space with paints. I have a vent because my airbrush station has a fan, and then I have it. You can see, bring it over there. So you can see here, I've got some 4-inch ducting, flexible ducting that goes through. And what that ends up doing is taking all the air, and then I've got a couple of filters in front of that, so it catches all the paint spray and everything, and then it backs it outdoors. So yeah, we're doing pretty good on that. But for the larger paint spray booth, basically that area there, from about over here. Let me see if I can see the track me. From about here all the way to the corner is probably about, I don't know, 6 feet that way to the wall. And then with that, it's probably about, I don't know, 4.5 feet or something like that in regards to the area that I have. And of course, the ceilings are even taller than this here. So I can reach, I'm 6'2", and I can hit the ceiling here. But that's probably about an 8-foot ceiling, I think it is. So I can get a pretty big thing in there. And so the idea is to do the same thing. I've got an AC Infinity inline fan, variable fan, which is somewhere around here. I think it's in there. So anyway, I got an inline fan, and I'm thinking about getting a box fan. And so when I have that plastic enclosed room to do some bigger spraying, then what I can end up doing is basically having a filter and all that stuff before it gets it back outside. That should work out pretty good. So we'll see how that goes. Kind of wish I had an apartment, but let me see if I go ahead and stop this, and I can get this into frame a little bit better. No, not that way. So apologize for the, there we go. So now I'm in frame. Does it seem a little crooked? It seems a little crooked-ish. That better? It's kind of hard to tell. I wish there was a level on this thing. So I think that's about as good as I'm going to get. So anyway, with that, yeah, that's what I'm planning on doing, is getting into doing some bigger prints. I definitely found that out with doing the sword. And when I did the large helmet for the Doom Slayer helmet that I still woefully haven't done anything on, yeah, I'm going to need a bigger spray booth area. So that's kind of why that helmet has been put on hold. Matter of fact, let me go get that. I'll be right back. Will you track me? Yes, yes. It's tracking me. So you're back. Let's see how fast it keeps up with me. Over here. Focus. So yeah, here is the Doomslayer helmet, and this is a pretty big helmet. But the problem is it's too big for my little bottle paint station, airbrush station. And because of that, that's why I kind of put off doing some of that as well. So put some padding on here, and yeah, this will be good. Luke, I am your father. And eventually, what I want to end up doing is the rest of the armor for this, and that's going to be another project that I want to do. This came out, it did 0.2 layer lines, but the top of it was like nasty because I didn't do variable layer height. And so you can see it's got some rough spots. So as far as getting this done and painted, probably not going to happen anytime soon until I get that big paint station thing done. So yeah, that's what we got going on. So yeah, good stuff. We got Big's Android come in and says, hello everyone. Hello. I don't have my normal cool lighting because we're in the printing room here, and I'm kind of washed out and pasty white. So yeah, there's that. Didn't even comb my hair this morning. I'm sorry, but I just want to do a test with this laptop to see if I can do a live stream and to see what the quality of the audio is from the laptop. I'm wondering if I can hook up my. Do I get a USB-C? Yeah, it's got a USB-C connector on here, so I should be able to connect up the wireless microphone. Let me go get that. I'll be right back. Okay, then we got this. We got our DJI wireless microphone. We're going to try plugging this in. I don't know if this will automatically set the mic from the laptop to this. So if there's technical difficulties, it is what it is. Oh, it's not USB. No, it is USB. Let me just take I got to unplug the mouse, and we'll see if that is. Oh, it brings up a it brings up a USB like it's a hard drive. Microphone privacy setting. Let's see what that does. Camera, microphone access. So I don't even know if I'm still. Let's see, what do we got here? Add a device, devices, mouse, keyboard, audio, add device, Bluetooth. I don't know. Microphone. Add microphone. How to set up and test microphone. Start setting system sound. Sound settings. So we got speakers, volume, mono, audio, input. So I think we could end up down here. Okay, so we've got that. So let's see what the, oh, we got some comments here. Corsair the Pirate says, so many commercials, so long. Well, I noticed that when I logged on to YouTube this morning, and I was, drinking my latte and all that stuff and checking out some other videos. I noticed I was watching some documentaries on the Philippines, but I noticed the ads have got noticeably longer. So yeah, there's that. Big Android says, while working, I came across this program, wondering if you have used or heard of it, if it's functional or not, and help you size your helmets. And what program would that? If that's that splitter program, that can scale items, but it doesn't specifically scale helmets. This morning I did see, and I haven't finished watching the video, about a guy who has a free program to make like a mock-up of your head, a model of your head. And so when you do and import helmets or masks into your slicing software, you can import the mock-up of your head. It's not a scan, but it's just based off of like the diameter and the measurements of your head. So that way you can kind of put those two models and have the helmet, and you can see if you've got enough room or not. But I haven't checked that out yet. Ref Maker. No, I haven't heard of Ref Maker yet. You sound awful at the bottom of the ocean. Oh no. Breath maker, tape maker. Okay, so let me go back to sound. Speakers, wireless, we've got micro. So now, how did not sound? Peak windows. So right now, I'm talking on the wireless. So does this sound bad? Let me know. Type a comment. Let me know how this sounds. If it's good, bad. Because Corsair the Pirate says I sound awful. I mean, that's, yeah. You're mumbling on the wireless. Oh, okay. Let's switch that. And this is, we'll unplug this. And now we are on the microphone for the laptop. So how does that sound? Again, the wireless on the Mac ends up working out pretty good. So what about the, sounds the same, bad? Let me try the microphone for the webcam. Okay, how does that sound? Does that sound better, different? Does it sound okay? Testing 1, 2, 3. And do I need to increase the volume? Because I'm using the microphone on the webcam there. So let me know on that. I just have so much control when I have my Mac. And it's like I said, I haven't used Windows in a minute. It's been a long time since I've used Windows. So when I picked up this Fire 15 brand new laptop, I got it for, like doing Pepakura files and things like that. That's what you get for using Windows. You sound like you don't make any changes. Okay, let's try bumping up the volume. Okay, how's the volume sound? We're set at 11. It was on the 8. So let me know how this sounds. That's what you get for using Windows. Sound like I didn't make any changes. Windows. I mean, I went, because I was Windows back when Multimate was the word processing software. So, and that's where the computer was huge, and you had 2 5.25-inch drives, one for the program, one for saving your documents. And the screen, the monitor was huge, and it ends up that it was okay. We got it says volume okay, muddle and muddy. Yeah, I know it sucks. Sorry, but yeah, I had Multimate. It was back in 1980, late 85. No, yeah, it's 85, 86, maybe early 86, and we got that in the military. So yeah, I remember Windows 3.1. I remember all the iterations, and then we got color monitors, and that was just like the next best thing to sliced bread. So that was kind of cool. But yeah, I don't know. This doesn't. I'm not. And then, oh gosh, when was the last? I think the last Windows computer I had was an HP. So that. We got Corsair, Punch the Dingo. Welcome to the show. Hey, welcome. Corsair says worked in DOS and Windows 3.0 back in the day. Yeah, it was rough. It was rough back then in the day. So, yeah, I'm really disappointed that the wireless microphone that works so well on the Mac just sounds crappy. So, unfortunately, you sound the same as back then. Back then being on the Mac, or just when I was using the wireless and now using the audio from that. That's what I wondered. If it's the same, I apologize. Deepest apologies. What do you do? What do you do? I don't know. We're going to go ahead and I'll show you. We'll just do an update. I can't wait till everything goes Mac. So there is the printer. We got a little servo there, dude. We printed him up, and he oversees the printing that we do. And there is again, we're kind of doing a picture frame deal. And I'm sorry for moving around. I know you're probably getting seasick. There we go. And I'll go back to that. Okay. Let's see. Some of the questions. Sound is better now. Is it distance from the mic? It could be. How's this? Of course, then you're going to get a real close-up of my face, and I know that's probably not a desirable thing. So, yeah. Okay. So apparently, I don't know, there might have to be some things with the DJI microphone, some settings. but everything is so nice. And on my Mac, I have the Corsair says sounds nice nostrils, better sound. I know, right? But yeah, with the Mac program that I end up using, the Ecamm Live, I get so much control over the audio and over the video, doing filters and corrections and contrast and, all kinds of stuff that I can really do some fine tuning on that. And then even then, I can get some fine tuning on a bunch of other things as well. So yeah, it's just kind of a thing. I want to do face tracking there. So apparently, I think the audio for this, for the EMIT 4K, only works to the point of where I'm about arm's length away. So what, 3-4 feet, whatever. How long am I? How far away am I? I am just over 2 feet. So yeah, apparently this is definitely a webcam, microphone and camera. So you got to be a couple feet, and it probably sounds a lot better. So Corsair says maybe the printer is interfering. How loud is it in the room? That's a good question. Because the printer is printing. So you see, we're hitting about 63, 64 decibels with the printer going and doing its thing, and then we're hitting about mid 70s or so, low to mid 70s as far as speaking. So maybe that has something to do with it. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. It could be interference. I don't know. It's Windows. But yeah, I just really love my Mac. Even though Apple hasn't made huge improvements on their iPhones, the latest iPhone I think is just absolutely stupid. That whole liquid glass thing, with the letters that you can see that they're kind of transparent. I think that's absolutely useless. I still got to see a way if I can stop that, because I think it got to the point of where it was just so they haven't trying to do the face tracking thing. They got to the point of where they ran out of stuff to make improvements to sell another phone, and so they came up with the liquid glass BS. And yeah, I will not. I got the 13 Pro Max, and even when I upgraded to the firmware for the iOS for the liquid glass, which I thought you could easily turn on and off, it also had problems with the camera on there. So with photos and videos, as you're actively taking a video, you get too close to something and then it changes and you get this stutter in there. It's like a step in the wrong direction. So I am an Apple fanboy. I'm not. I think the biggest improvement that they did was come out with maybe some new pastel colors. And the iPhone 17 that's out now, which is made of aluminum, is like scratch prone, like nobody's business. So yeah, I don't recommend it at all. So it is what it is. So anyway, let's see, what else do we got going on? I did print out a hanger for the sword that I just ended up doing, the sword that we're painting. And came out really, really good. You take a look at the colors on this. Look at the color. That is going to be some crazy color. So I've got one side painted. This is an enamel red, and I sanded it down a little bit. I didn't want to get too crazy on it, but yeah, this is going to turn out fine. And then what we'll end up doing is we'll do a clear coat mat on this to seal everything in because it's still a tiny bit tacky. Even though I painted it yesterday and it's still a tiny bit tacky. And you can kind of see, if I get a fingerprint, I should be able to see that because of the light, but you can still see a fingerprint imprint in here. So I need to let this dry a little bit. So before we go on the other side. But yeah, this is going to come out really good. This is going to be a good color. So, and I thought about going through and then doing resin and really making this thing perfect. And I'm like, I'm not. I think just painting it will be good enough. And we should be good with that. So that'll dry probably the rest of the day. And then after that, I don't know if I'm going to paint the rest of the hilts of the sword and everything. I'm not sure about that because it's all in the same PLA color, this matte PLA. Of course, you can't see it very well because of the light. I'm sorry. The lighting's horrible. It's not set up like the office room. So, yeah, this is where you can hang it on it's got some little hangers on the back, so we'll be able to hang up our sword. But anyway, yeah, that's what we got going on. Let's see, what are the comments? Macintosh M1 with dual 32 monitor. You started on IGS back in the day. Yeah, red is red. Red is red. It is a sunrise red, which is it's this right here. Sign it up. It's a Rust-Oleum, and you can see it's kind of a sunrise red that we got there. So really, this smells. It smells a lot. So yeah, we got that going. So anyway, I was hoping that if I ever get any products to review, especially like big printers, like when I did the unboxing and the setup of the K2 Plus, I think something like this with the face tracking would have helped a lot because I kind of had some different camera views and whatever. But I think if I only had one camera, I think it would be nice to have the tracking camera. So, yeah. Well, anyway, I think that is going to be it. We're just doing a short one because I just want to do a test to see how all this is working. So, I don't know. Take it for what it is, and I think we're going to shut the video off. Appreciate the likes. We got 5 likes so far, so that's pretty good. Appreciate that. And then on future videos, we'll go back to the normal setting, and when we put the sword together after it's all painted, we'll do that, and we should have a lot better audio, a lot better video production value than what we get with the windows and the crappy lighting that we have. Okay. Yeah, that's good. All righty. So we're continue printing on this thing. Face tracking. And this has got another 5 hours and 49 minutes to go. So we've got a little bit to go, and I'll have to play around with the YouTube software. You would think YouTube, when you're doing a live stream, that they would have some filters that you could play with. But I don't think that they do. We've got an edit thing on here. Now that's just for the edit video details. Share screen, share. Yeah, but you would think that you could have some settings for some like filters because everybody and their grandmother has filters, but YouTube doesn't for webcam, and you can put some filters on there. I don't know. I'll have to see if I can get this emit And if there's any software associated with it that can go on Windows, I don't know. We'll see. It's a pain in the ass. It is a pain in the ass, that's for sure. So I don't know. I don't think I'll ever get to the level of production with this laptop as I do with my Mac, honestly. It's just, of course, the lighting and so on and so forth, but even just the basic camera stuff and the audio, I'm really disappointed with the how bad the audio is from what you all told me. So, yeah. But that's why we do tests. So we'll see how that works out. Yeah, which begs the question, I do have a long USB cable for camera I could bring in here. So I'd have a cable go from this room, maybe into the other room, and it would go through the Mac. And then I could use the wireless and it would sound a lot better. So I don't know. Maybe we'll try that on the next one. Okay, so I think that's going to be it. Appreciate everybody watching. Again, this is just kind of a test video to see what we're looking at with just the laptop, the Windows, crappy lighting, audio, just to see how well it turns out or how bad it is. And yeah, appreciate you putting in your 2 cents and helping me. Obviously, the sound settings on the laptop are horrendous because it doesn't seem to matter if it was set on the microphone for the laptop or whether it was the webcam or with the wireless. Apparently, this didn't sound good at all on any of those. So a little muddled, more muddled. But if I'm closer to this web camera, obviously the mic there is a little bit better. So I'm really disappointed in the wireless and the Windows and how those two aren't working as well together as they should. Or maybe it's just, it is. Okay, so that's going to be it. Adventure says, have a great weekend. See you as well and everybody else. And maybe we'll do something over the weekend. I'm not sure. We'll see. But with that, thank you for the help and everybody. And we will see you on the next video. Peace. Oh, horribleness. Boy, it's really freaking out over here.